Okay, let's talk about Apple accessories. And here's a list of 5 different accessories that I believe are very valid and important when it comes to Apple. Obviously, the Apple ecosystem is vast, accessories are vast, but here's my top 5 of things I think you need in the Apple ecosystem. Starting with number 5, a charger. Now, this doesn't have to be Apple's charger, but I think their brick is great, but also something like, an Anchor charger. So an accessory to your phone or to really any of your devices is a good power brick. Without power, you don't have a device, right? It doesn't do anything with 0% battery. So being able to charge it, being able to charge it on the fly, something like this is great. This is actually a wall outlet as well as a power bank. Inside there's batteries, and it has through 2 USBs-Cs and a USB-A. So whether it's this, whether it's another Anchor product, whether it's Apple's products and chargers, but I just think if you're going with Apple's chargers, they don't sell them in the box anymore. You know, they're optimized for their products, which is great, but Anchor do great things with their products to make sure they're fantastic for devices. So prior, you used to get your charger in the box, and if you went with that charger, typically it was the tiny little 5-volt one, which wasn't enough to even charge it these days. The consumer has a little bit more of a choice as to what charger they use and how they're doing it. A lot of products on the market now which are smaller, powerfuler than what the standard one is that Apple are producing. I have a bunch of the Apple ones, and I like them a lot. I feel like they're optimized very well for their products. So, but I like the Anchor; they're good, and I have a couple of versions of Anchor products. So there you go. Here's a specific one. If you have an iPad that's capable, I recommend an Apple Pencil. So, reason being, I've had iPads. I've had both generations of the Apple Pencil. And if you are creative, if you're drawing, if you like the user experience of having an Apple Pencil and an iPad in tapping around and writing and drawing and utilizing it in that sense, it's a great product. It's really well utilized. I've used different types of styluses on different products, and it's just nowhere near as nicely utilized as what the Apple Pencil does with its iPad. And then the fact that you can magnetically put it on the top to charge and to connect it is a beautiful little thing. Now, the older version, you had to take the end off and stick it in a lightning connection. The newer version where you put it on top and it charges magnetically, very nice little feature. Highly recommend Apple Pencil if you're creative or if you like that user experience with a stylus type device. So my number 3 option is the Apple HomePod. I've had a few generations of this. I've had the small, the big. The sound that comes out of this thing is just great. Very loud, very bassy. And then the integration with, say, the Apple TV, integration with your phone, Siri being right there, and then being able to control your home devices from it as well. So I have lights connected to Siri. I have a whole bunch of different devices that I can control using that. Apple Music integration, being able to say what you want to play, being able to control Apple TV with your voice, start, stop, launch this app. It's really a central part of our home. It sits right under the TV. It has some great sound coming out of it for movies and for music. And if you haven't tried it, I think you just need to try one. If it's been on something that you've thought about getting, or maybe it's for every reason you just haven't gone there, I like it a lot, and my wife loves it a lot. We tried other ones, we tried the smaller ones, we've tried different ecosystems, but we've always gone back to the Apple HomePod. So if you can call it an accessory, I think it's a fantastic accessory. My number 2 is Apple Watch bands. And obviously this prefaces that you have an Apple Watch to go with the Apple Watch band, otherwise what's the point? But I have the Apple Watch Ultra, and then the bands. Really, what can you say? Of all the devices Apple offers, it's the most customizable and it's the most personal to you. So I'll change my watch bands a couple of times a day. Wake up and I'll put on my leather one for going to work. I'll come home, go to the gym, put on my sports band, come home, put on get the sweaty one off and put a more comfortable one on for the evening. Probably 2-3 times every day, sometimes even more depending on what we're doing. And it just changes the way it looks. I have the metal one, match the color, so it can be fancy. I've got sport ones for when I'm working out. I've got these elastic ones for comfort. So many different options, and of course, Apple's the quality in which they create their Apple Watch bands and the way they design them, the way they think about the designs, and the way we use them, and the way we take them on and off is very unique with all of their range of Apple Watches. They've changed kind of the way that bands really work for a watch. So that's great. And then the other flip side to that is the third-party market is just vast. There's so many you can get. There's so many companies out there that are making Apple Watch bands. You can get them very reasonably priced. You can find the color you like, the design you like. If you can think of an Apple Watch band, I'm sure it's out there. And there's fancy, there's sport, there's whatever you want, whatever size that you need. Typically, you're going to find it. It's so unique, so personable. And I have a drawer full of watch bands, and I actually forget sometimes which ones I have. I'll look through and I'm like, oh, I haven't used that one in such a long time. And I really like that one. So Apple Watch bands are a very cool accessory, and there's a lot of different options you can find out there, and very personal to what you like and what you want. My last and best Apple accessory, my number one slot, is the Apple AirPods. So weirdly enough, on another list I've done, I had these two flipped, but we were talking about Apple devices, so the watch and the AirPods, and on my other list they were flipped. But in this case, we're talking about accessories, and I think the accessory that you can use the most, or at least I use the most, and the one that increases how you use the phone, is the AirPods. You put them in if you're watching YouTube, if you're watching videos anywhere, if you are listening to music, taking phone calls, dictating to Siri a text message, all these different things you can utilize with the AirPods in your ear. The sound is fantastic. I have the AirPods Pro 2, or the Pro second generation. The sound that comes out of them is just second to none. The noise cancellation now that's in there, and really my thing here is you could pick any of them. You can pick the first generation up until the newest, latest, and greatest, and you're going to get a great, unique product. And obviously, you see people walking around everywhere with AirPods in their ears. They're a very popular product, and they're going to continue to churn these out. And I'm probably always going to be getting the newest and greatest, or at least keep my eye on them. For me, they're very comfortable. Things you can do with them, like I said, just very instantly being able to communicate by text, by call, listen to music, and listening to whatever content you're consuming. It's a great way of doing it. So there you go. That is my top 5 Apple accessory lists. In my opinion, these are the 5 things I think you should have if you have any of these products that we've talked about, aka the watch or an iPhone. So hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you. Bye.